I was going to say, you've dealt with this bull, as we say in 2021, on school boards and anti-vaxxers, and I don't know whether, I just find it, I said this yesterday, I guess I've always found it incomprehensible that self-preservation is the strongest instinct, I think, in the human experience, right? But that people will not protect themselves. But I was saying, what's almost more incomprehensible to me is that they will not protect their children. I mean, I was talking about the, anecdotes of mothers being able to lift a car off their kid because that instinct is so strong. And of course, we just saw, as you probably did, polling yesterday, even bigger divide on vaccinations with kids. The percentages of Democrats that have gotten their kids vaccinated as opposed to Republicans. Mm-hmm. And I thought if anything would not be partisan, it would be that, protecting your children.
Well, and maybe it's just because of where I live, but it hasn't been a problem here. I mean, we have extremely high percentages. I think the percentage of our older students who have been at least one shot is in the 90s, I think. So we've had a very good run of getting students with shots in the arm, even our younger students. I mean, my Facebook feed has been filled with child vaccinations for weeks now. Because people here know, if you want schools to remain open, if you want people to remain healthy, if you want to stop the spread of coronavirus, you get your shot, you wear your mask when you need to, and you keep your distance when you need to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I guess at this point, 2 years in, we'll take any good news that we can. I mean, unfortunately, Karl, I have heard doctors saying, and sadly, I think this wave is going to be probably horrific between Delta and Omicron and the travel and holiday season, yada, yada, like the wave we're going to see in terms of hospitalizations and deaths right now, January.
Well, we will see. I think when they talk about waves, they usually talk about infections. And the best way to protect oneself from any adverse impact of being infected with coronavirus is to get a vaccine, to get your shots.
Yeah.
If you're partway through the cycle, get your other shot.
Yeah. Well, and there's always, these COVIDiots and mask holes. A Michigan sheriff who campaigned for Trump has filed criminal charges against a woman for writing nasty tweets about anti-mask nurses who were talking during a public meeting. I mean, it is just amazing, right, what they consider free speech on their side, and, right, it doesn't count on our side. He referred to one anti-mask, the tweet that was talking about, that referred to an anti-mask nurse as Nurse E. coli. That's just funny, and there was a poop emoji.
Oh.
I mean, if poop emojis are not, you can be criminally charged. I am going to be under the jail.
Oh boy.
I don't know if he's been on the internet, but he's going to be really busy if that's what gets a charge these days.
Right. She described another anti-mask nurse as a dangerous RN sponsored by Schoolcraft College, a pathetic purveyor of health misinformation. The sheriff defended pressing charges over the tweets, despite the fact that they were merely contained personal insults rather than physical threats of violence. So, I mean, you can't even. So to them, it's hate speech to call people out for medical misinformation that is killing people. I mean, one of the nurses listed here said that everyone that got the vaccine is going to die within 5 years. That's the kind of misinformation she was putting out.
Although that's a bit like Trump coming back to office without an election.
Right.
They'll just keep pushing it off.
Right.